Bove stated that DOJ would need to consider telling the courts, fuck you, and ignoring any such court order. Did you say anything of that kind in the meeting?
Senator, I have no recollection of saying anything of that kind. To the extent I
Wouldn't you recall, Mr. Bove, if you said or suggested during a meeting with Justice Department lawyers that maybe they should consider telling the court, fuck you? It seems to me that would be something you'd remember, unless that's the kind of thing you say frequently.
Well, I've certainly said things encouraging litigators at the department to fight hard for valid positions that we have to take in defense of our clients.
And have you frequently suggested that they say fuck you and ignore court orders? Is that all?
This hearing was tense from the first second. Senator Adam Schiff locked horns with Emil Bove, a Trump-aligned nominee for the U.S. Court of Appeals. The issue? A whistleblower claimed Bove once told Justice Department lawyers to tell the courts "fight top are you" if they didn't like an order. Schiff demanded answers. Bove said, "I don't recall." The room froze. Cameras rolled. What happened next exposed deep cracks in America's justice system. Let's rewind.
Mr. Bove, I want to turn to the meeting that Mr. Ravaney, the whistleblower, has written an extensive complaint about. The hearing started with the chairman reading a social media post by the Deputy Attorney General Blanche, who is present today but not under oath, nor is that social media post under oath. So let me ask you, since you are under oath, in the complaint it says, Bove stated that DOJ would need to consider telling the courts fuck you and ignoring any such court order. Did you say anything of that kind in the meeting?
Senator, I have no recollection of saying anything of that kind. To the extent
Wouldn't you recall, Mr. Bove, if you said or suggested during a meeting with Justice Department lawyers that maybe they should consider telling the court fuck you? It seems to me that would be something you'd remember, unless that's the kind of thing you say frequently.
Well, I've certainly said things encouraging litigators at the department to fight hard for valid positions that we have to take in defense of our clients.
And have you frequently suggested that they say fuck you and ignore court orders? Is that also something you frequently do, such you might not remember doing it on this occasion?
No, and as I explained, I've never directed.
So did you or did you not make those comments during that meeting?
Which comments, Senator?
You really need me to repeat it? Did you suggest, as Mr. Ravaney wrote, that DOJ would need to consider telling the courts fuck you and ignore any such court order?
I did not suggest that there would be any need to consider ignoring court orders. At the point of that meeting, there were no court orders to discuss.
Well,
Emil Bove isn't just any lawyer. He worked at the Department of Justice, handled high-profile national security cases, and later became part of Donald Trump's personal legal defense. When Trump's team faced investigations and indictments, Bove was among the attorneys fighting back, often clashing with federal prosecutors. So when Trump nominated him to the Third Circuit Court, controversy was inevitable. Senator Adam Schiff, a former prosecutor and longtime member of the House Intelligence Committee, came prepared. He'd read the whistleblower complaint, and it wasn't light reading. According to that document, Bove mocked court oversight and told DOJ lawyers they could ignore judicial orders if those orders got in the way of executive priorities. Schiff's question was simple. Did you say that? Bove leaned into the microphone. Calm tone, lawyer posture. He said he didn't recall making such a statement. He added that there were no active court orders at the time, so the comment made no sense. Schiff pushed harder. He said, "Mr. Bove, that's not something one forgets. If you told government lawyers to tell a court, fats you, that's not a casual comment."
Do you suggest telling the courts fuck you in any manner?
I don't recall.
You just don't remember that. Well, let me ask you this. It also says in the complaint, Bove indicated and stressed to all in attendance that the planes needed to take off no matter what. These are the planes that a judge was ordering not be used to render people to a maximum security prison outside the country. Did you say during that meeting, did you stress to all in attendance that the planes needed to take off no matter what?
Senator, your characterization is not accurate.
It's not my characterization. It's the characterization of a decorated prosecutor who was in that meeting. Are you saying that he's lying?
As I said at the beginning of the hearing.
No, I'm not interested in what you said at the beginning of the hearing. I'm interested in whether you stressed to people in attendance that the planes needed to take off no matter what. Did you say that?
I certainly conveyed the importance of the upcoming operation.
Well, don't paraphrase here. Did you tell people in attendance that the planes needed to take off no matter what?
I don't recall the specific words that I used.
Wouldn't you recall saying that if you had instructed that the planes needed to take off no matter what, including whether the court ordered otherwise? You wouldn't remember that?
This is a mischaracterization, Senator. There were no court orders at this point.
Well, there was a court order, wasn't there?
No,
wasn't there a court order by Judge Boasberg, if not in this specific case, then in related cases, that people not be sent out of the country until the court could rule? Wasn't there a court order?
Not at the time of that meeting,
Did you participate in the decision not to disseminate that oral court order prior to the written court order to other agencies so those planes would not take off, so those planes would turn around? Were you involved in the decision to withhold that court order from the responsible agencies?
I think it's clear that I participated.
Yes or no?
I participated in this matter, and I'm not going to get into the contents of legal advice. I did over the course of time, as many lawyers have.
No, I'm not interested in over the course of time. I'm interested in whether you...
Bove paused, repeated, "I do not recall." Schiff's voice sharpened. "Then how can we trust that you'll respect the rule of law if confirmed to a lifetime judgeship?" Gasps echoed through the room. The exchange wasn't loud, but it was heavy. For minutes, Schiff tried to get Bove to commit, either deny outright or admit what was said. Bove refused to give either. He stayed in the safe zone. "I don't recall, Senator." This wasn't just about a sentence in a meeting. It was about a philosophy. The idea that executive power can override judicial oversight. Schiff argued that democracy depends on judges who follow the Constitution, not political loyalty. He accused the administration of nominating loyalists who might shield Trump's allies in future legal battles. Republicans on the committee defended Bove. They said the whistleblower's claims were politically motivated, and that Bove's record showed competence and respect for the law. But Schiff kept circling back, not to politics, but to principle. Can a judge who forgets his own words be trusted to remember his oath? Let's break down what we know.
Participated in the willful violation of court orders as alleged in this complaint. Let me ask you this, Mr. Bove, if there are notes of that meeting, will you provide them to this committee?
I defer to the committee and to the executive branch on the procedure.
And if the committee requests them, will you provide those notes to the committee?
I defer to the executive branch on the handling of that request.
And let me ask you about notes from another meeting, which you're contesting here, and that is the meeting over the decision to dismiss the case in New York, the corruption case against the mayor of New York. According to Ms. Sassoon, the U.S. attorney at the time, during the meeting with Adam's attorneys, where she described Adam's attorneys repeatedly urging what amounted to a quid pro quo, that you admonished one of the lawyers in the room to stop taking notes. Is that true?
I don't believe I instructed that attorney to stop taking notes. I did remark on the fact that he was taking extensive notes, yes.
And why did it concern you that he was taking notes of that meeting?
Because at that point in the meeting, we were discussing who was responsible for media leaks, and I was making the point that only the prosecutors had created an extensive record that could support detailed leaks.
And you were concerned, were you, that information about this potential quid pro quo might become public? Was that the concern?
I've explained that there was no quid pro quo.
Will you provide the notes of that meeting, which you, according to the U.S. attorney, instructed be collected at the end of the meeting?
I think a member of my staff may have given that instruction outside my presence, and I defer to the committee and the executive branch on records requests and how those should be handled.
Well, I would request that we seek these records, which go to the truthfulness or lack of truthfulness of this witness. There's a reason why, if I may, my colleagues have gone over at least as much as this. There must be a reason why prosecutors quit rather than following orders from you they considered unethical. There must be a reason why prosecutors complained about you in your own office, why defense attorneys complained about you in your own office, why the judge in the case involving the dismissal of the charges in New York said everything here smacks of a bargain. You testified earlier that the objective evidence overwhelmingly made it clear that it was not a bargain. That there must be a reason why everyone disagrees with you, Mr. Bove.
The whistleblower, Erez Ruveni, filed a sworn complaint saying the comment was made during a DOJ meeting about immigration enforcement. He said Bove expressed frustration with federal judges blocking Trump-era policies. Multiple staffers reportedly heard the remark. The Justice Department did not publicly refute it. They simply declined to comment. Bove's career includes major terrorism cases in New York, successful prosecutions, and later private defense work. Legally, his record is strong. Ethically, this allegation is damaging if true, because telling lawyers to defy a court isn't just disrespect, it's contempt of court, a violation of the oath to uphold the law. Schiff's questioning exposed that gap between competence and credibility. If Emil Bove is confirmed, he will hold a lifetime position interpreting the Constitution. That means he'll decide appeals that affect civil rights, immigration, and presidential powers. His mindset matters. If he views court orders as negotiable, that changes how justice is delivered. If the whistleblower exaggerated, it's also important to protect reputations from unverified claims. This is why hearings like these matter. They test judgment under pressure.
And people feel it necessary to give up a job they love at the Department of Justice and quit because they won't go along with what they consider unethical and immoral orders from you. There must be a reason why that is so true of so many, and this court needs to get to the bottom of it. I yield back.
Thank you,
Can I make
Senator
a parliamentary inquiry?
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've requested the notes from two pivotal meetings that go to the heart of the nominee's credibility. The meeting over the decision to drop charges against the mayor of New York, and the meeting in which the whistleblower alleges that the nominee suggested ignoring court orders and telling the courts essentially, fuck you. The witness has said that the decision whether to turn over those notes will determine or depend, I guess, on whether there's an assertion of privilege of some kind. And we have the great good fortune at this moment to have the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General here with us today. We can resolve this right now. I would ask through the chair whether the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General will approve the provision of these notes to the committee. They could be provided to the chair and the ranking member in camera if necessary, so that the question that Senator Kennedy asked about whether there was some illicit bargain and that my colleagues have asked can be resolved. If there are detailed notes of these meetings, it will give us an answer to who's telling the truth here. So I would ask the question through the chair of the witness, given we have the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General here, will the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General make these notes available to the committee so we can determine who's telling the truth here?
Both men played their roles. Schiff, the watchdog for judicial integrity. Bove, the nominee trying not to self-incriminate or misstep. The real issue isn't the soundbite. It's whether the public still believes in an impartial system. By the end of the hearing, nothing explosive happened. No confession, no outburst, but the silence said everything. A nominee for one of the nation's highest courts could not remember if he told colleagues to ignore the judiciary. Schiff called it a dangerous precedent. Republicans said it was a witch hunt. And the American people were left wondering, who can they trust more, the accuser or the accused? So here's the question for you. When a judge nominee says, "I don't recall" to a charge this serious, is that honesty or evasion? Should senators move forward or dig deeper? Comment your thoughts below.